Well, hello, everybody. Welcome back to Cocktails and Rocktails with me, your most notorious groupie, Alice Rouse, author of We've Got Tonight, paperback version by my friend Mark. Love this one. This one is not available right now, but it may come back in the future because I really do like this cover. He did a great job on it. So kudos, Mark. Still waiting for that postcard from Bali. And of course, these other little ebooks, which will be in print soon enough. I'm going to make it so I can get them out and about to the world instead of just an ebook, because I think they'd be fun just to have, just to have. They're not expensive, but they're just fun. So, all right. And as always, thank you so much to everybody who's been really amazing, especially the past couple months with everything I've been going through with my father passing and just so much stuff that has been, hard. So I'm so lucky to have this little family and this community that we have here. Whether you're a member or just lurking or just hanging out, I'm really lucky because I've had a lot of really great support, a lot of great comments, a lot of you guys sharing a lot of amazing stories with me. So thank you so much for being just totally awesome and letting me into your lives. It means everything. And you know what always means everything to a groupie? Rock and roll, the road, family. And today, you guys, I've got another one that might surprise you. I'm going to talk about a little trip. Was it Tucson or Phoenix? I know Danny and I, this was after we had left Seattle the first time when grunge was just happening in the beginning of 1990. We were living down in New Mexico where I had family. And we were still in contact with all of our rock friends. We had been going over to El Paso and Albuquerque and stuff and going to Tucson and Phoenix because it was a quick road trip. And so it was a really great place for us to just kind of hit different cities for different bands. And we ended up, I believe it was Tucson. But before we get into the actual story, we got to have a cocktail. So everybody grab your cocktails. I'm finishing up this. This is a giant fucking can. It's just huge. I like big, but this... Yeah, I did that. Old habits die hard. See something in my face. I either suck or swallow. Anyway, so people said this was a really good one because I've tried the Jack Daniel's hard lemonade and it just sounded good. And they're like, oh no, this is a really good one. So we're going to try it out. I'm finishing it up from another one. So everybody, grab your mics, kick up your feet, and let's have a little cocktail and rocktail, shall we? Cheers, big ears. Okay, so when I first drank it, I was worried about it being just your basic seltzer water that just tastes like soda water. Doesn't really have any flavor, but it has booze in it, so fuck yeah, whatever. I would like this to be a little more lemony, but I'm definitely swallowing way over Kip Winger 100 times. I would beer bong this shit over Kip Winger. And speaking of over Kip Winger, this is going to be you guys. And this is what the backstage passes were for this concert because I haven't told you who it is yet. So Danny and I ended up, I think we were seeing, who were we out there with? I want to say it was Dangerous Toys. So they were playing like Phoenix or Tucson or something. And we had just kind of hooked up with them. And ended up, we knew we had other friends working for this big tour that was coming through. So the guys at Dangerous Toys were going to California. We're like, no, don't worry. We're going to be on this tour. We're meeting up with some other friends. They were like, oh, cool. So we meet up with some roadie friends of ours who were working on this really amazing tour. And you guys, not many people get a chance to see this because she's not touring anymore. And this was our backstage pass for Cher. Yep. Just when you think I can't meet someone else, there's just no other direction for me to go, I got to meet Cher. And it was awesome. So, like I said, I think we were with Dangerous Toys. Danny and, was our friend Tess with us? I know it was Danny and I, but... So we had talked to some of our roadie friends, because if they couldn't get a hold of us, we gave them our mothers, like either Danny's or my mother's phone number, so they would give them our phone number. So they gave us their phone number. They called us. They're like, hey, we're going to be in Tucson, blah, 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 blah. We were in Salt Lake, but we didn't find you guys. But we're like, oh, cool. We're just a couple hours away. We'll meet you there. So we hang out with Dangerous Toys, and we're like, no, we've got some friends coming in with the Share Tour, so we're going to go hang out on the Share Tour. And it was fucking just cool. Like, we meet up with Jeff and Tony and all these, Mike and these other roadies that we know, and we're just hanging out, doing the hotel night before thing. Nothing crazy. Nothing. We meet Cher's hairdresser, who takes care of her wigs and stuff. Because Cher was, she wasn't the night before, and she just was going down, not Cher, but her hairdresser. And I could not remember her name, but she paid her at the time, and this is 1990, $6,000 a week to take care of her wigs. And you know what this girl did, the hairdresser? She ended up with the very first, I believe, kind of infomercial and product. Like, it was a hair product. Shampoos, conditioners, leave-ins, detanglers, all this stuff, like her own stuff that she used to use on Cher. And she ended up, and I wish I could remember the name of her name. Laura something or other, I want to say, but they were purple bottles with this top. And she used to do this late night infomercial. And she was like, yeah, I used to be Cher's hairdresser. So we met her. And it was cool because she works real closely with Cher. And she was like, yeah, she's a really nice person, blah, 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 blah. So we go the night before. All go up to bed. Nobody's sleeping with anybody. We were in the just in case room because a lot of big tours have an extra room just in case. And it's called just in case. So when it's registered under, at least back then. So Danny and I would go sleep in the just in case room. We get ready, to go to the gig the next day. Hanging out, having a good time. Meet this one guy who's worked for Upstaging. If you know, Upstaging. They are the company that for decades has hauled all the equipment. They're the trucking company that hauls all the rock and roll equipment. So, and he was talking, he's like, hey, I got some good weed here. You should come. And he was this little old guy. Kind of looked like Popeye, but with the beard. And he told us the stupidest joke. What's the last thing that the girlfriend said, that the trucker said? I don't even remember but the punchline was, you picked a fine time to leave me loose, wheel. There's a song. You picked a fine time to leave me, Lucille. Yeah, so stupidest joke. So we were just hanging out, minding our own business. And Tony is like, hey, come back to catering, because we're just backstage. Cher's not there. The guys in her band are warming up, whatever. We're just hanging out, being normal. And when we come out of catering after grabbing something to eat, because this is right before sound check, when everybody's got a little bit of a break, depending on what you do. We come out, and I can't even describe it because I take her right out. I'm just talking to Danny and Jeff and Tony, and we're just having a good time. And I turn, and there's the hairdresser, and she's the first person that I see. And I'm like, oh, hey, how are you? She's like, oh, it's really good to see you, blah, 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 blah. We were just chatting about last night, and who comes up? Cher. Because quite honestly, it's Cher, and she's not as tall and stuff as I thought she was, because you think she's just this lanky. No, she's actually kind of petite. But yeah, it just, whoa. And she was like talking to her hairdresser and stuff, and she was also talking to Tony about something about the lighting and how she wanted more of this during a certain part in the song. And there was also this other tall, thin guy that we had met standing with her. Didn't think anything. I mean, same height, not like tall, but same height, same build, everything. This will come in later. So, and she's like, she gets introduced, and she's like, oh, really nice to meet you. We're like, oh, nice to meet you. Just being cool like we are backstage, because you're not going to be like, it's not in the meet and creep room. You're sitting there trying to be cool, but it's fucking Cher, dude. I watched her growing up on Sonny and Cher's show. Gypsy, Tramps, and Thieves, and just amazing. And like watching her wardrobe being taken to the stage was just massive. And just standing there in this presence, and it was just like 5 minutes. It wasn't like anything big or anything crazy or significant. It was just like, oh, really nice to meet you. She's like, are you coming to the show tonight? Yeah, just being, normal talking, what she would say in passing. Yeah, it's the first time I'm seeing you. I'm really excited to see it. She's like, oh, you're going to love it. I hope you do. She's like, well, it's nice to meet you, ladies. Enjoy. Took off. It's Cher. He just met Cher. And the hairdresser and stuff. And the guy, I don't remember his name, but he was introduced and he was talking and we didn't think anything of it. Thought it was her wardrobe person or something. Nope, we would find out who he was later. And this show, you guys, I am telling you, this show was so fucking amazing. Just so amazing. Like, she probably had about 20 different wardrobe changes. And it was during the If I Could Turn Back Time. You know, that one. Oh, I kind of did Cher cool. But anyway, so it was during that. So she had that sheer bodysuit, you know, with the... And I actually had one of these as a stripper. I got one later because I just happened to see it at the Blue Boutique, which is a big adult boutique here. Has a lot of really cool corsets and costumes, stuff like that. So I happened to see that same outfit that I got a few years later. And like I said, it was the one with the garters that was just sheer black and just had that V up and down the back. So, and that was about this time. So, and keep that in mind, this outfit is actually important to the story. So we just go on, you know, go smoke some weed with the little trucker with the bad joke, get on the bus, have a couple drinks, relax, kick back until it's showtime. So we go to the FOH, we're watching this show, and I'm seriously, you guys, she just in awe to watch it. It wasn't like this huge stage production. Yeah, there were lights, it was just kind of simple but elaborate at the same time. Her costumes, her singing, her presence, that's what really owned that stage. So I don't remember like seeing a whole bunch of filler on that stage. And then all of a sudden, she, you know, about halfway through the concert, which was about 2.5 hours, 2 hours maybe, all of a sudden, she comes out in another outfit, in that sheer outfit. So she comes out and she's like, and everybody's going crazy. And she's singing, If We Could Turn Back Time, skipping around. And she's just looking beautiful, perfect. Her ass looks better than it did that I remember when I saw her walking down the hall in this outfit. I'm like, oh, that outfit does her ass good. And about, I don't know, halfway through the song, out comes the real Cher. Because the guy that was standing next to her is a drag queen who, oh my God, who came out and would like perform with her. And that was the first time he came out and performed with her, was during that song in that outfit. And the only reason you could tell it was not Cher is he had a better ass than her. Not kidding. Not kidding. It was amazing. And they did this really cool duet. Like his voice was even spot on. You know, and just watch the rest of the show. And as far as concerts go, that's got to be in my top 5, if not my top 3. Because, like I said, how often do you get the chance to see Cher these days? She's not going to tour anymore. She's done with that. You get to see her on TV, stuff like that. If you live in LA, Melrose, maybe. I don't know, Malibu. I don't know where Cher goes. I always thought they just put her in a road case and she went back to, I don't know, heaven, Wonderland, whatever magical place she sprung up from. Because like I said, this was someone I watched as a kid on the Sonny and Cher show that was just really so much a part of our Gen X culture and growing up. And just meeting her in person, because she is such a legend, you know? I mean, I was more in awe of her than when I met Mick Jagger. And Mick Jagger, well, hey, we flirting. We both got the swagger. Let's use it on each other. But Cher, it was just like, Cher, holy shit. You know, so, and I'm not starstruck very often at all. But with Cher, definitely was. And like I said, that show was amazing. And her and the drag queen would come out. And like I said, the only way you could tell it was not Cher was he had a better ass. Her just kind of skinny and flat, but not real flat, but kind of more flat now probably than it was then. Because she was probably only in her 40s, I would think, back then. I was, what, 20? Still 19. June 11th. But yeah, that's my little Cher wristband. And I wrote it on there so this we could go wherever we wanted. Just hang out. Do our thing. Yep, so there you guys go. Another short and sweet one, but really fucking huge all at the same time because, yeah, I mean, you never know in rock and roll. This is why I always say be friends with the road crew. Date the road crew. Marry them like a couple of people that I know did. Never, ever turn your back or look down at the road crew. And this is for you, Adriana Gillette. Okay, because I hear you treat them like shit. They're part of the family. And they're going to be on other tours. And they are great friends. They are living the same life. We're all living. The rock stars, the groupies, the roadies. We're all living that same life together. So never, ever, ever look down on guys because they're the road crew. Scammy to bars was always like, we don't date the road crew. Well, I do. And I'm friends with a bunch of them. You guys know Oris. I've never dated him. But he's dated 3 friends of mine. But we are great friends for years and years and years. And you know how much great times we have. And how many times I've been backstage and had a great time because of him. But this one, because I would never have seen Cher if I had not known Jeff and Tony and Mike and these roadies that we knew. And so the end of the tour, they're headed over to Texas, I believe. Somewhere in Texas, I think. They went right through Las Cruces. So we just jumped on the bus with the boys. Got home. Dropped us off at our apartment. Big tour bus. Hug, hug. People were like, because it was like 6 or 7 in the morning by the time Danny and I got back to our apartment. And that was also about the time we decided we're going back to Salt Lake City. I mean, it was fun being down in the El Paso area and Las Cruces and being able to go to all these other places. We didn't, you know, go on a regular basis because usually when they came to Salt Lake City, they were going up to Seattle or Denver or, you know, Reno, Sacramento, San Francisco. So if we went down to Arizona, it wasn't very often. So it was kind of cool being down in that area and playing the band game and see what groupie was like there. And there really weren't. It was a desert. So probably good thing Danny and I invaded the desert for a minute, but that's all we could handle. We would go back up, I think, a month or 2 after this. Yeah. But it was cool. Like I said, we just went from one band to another. I think we were out there with Dangerous Toys. I know we were out there with somebody, but my mind is telling me it was Scott and all those guys and Jason and Dave, just everybody. I love the guys in Dangerous Toys. They're such awesome guys. They're an incredible band. If you haven't heard of them, go find them. Sportin' and Woody. Hey man, I think I'm scared. My favorite songs. But they're a great band. They're still play sometimes. So if they're around your area, go see them. I would say go see Cher, but too little too late. But you guys, seriously, when I say this is one of my top 5 concerts, you know it was good. Because it was just that energy she had on the stage, the lighting, the costumes, the drag queen, the whole thing. And just the whole crowd was just enjoying it. And a lot of people were older and mellow, but dang, seriously, to been able to even spend 5 minutes in Cher's presence was astounding to me. So it was really cool. And like I said, ladies, be friends with road crew. Date them. They go out with a lot of different bands. You never know who you're going to meet because of those road crew guys. So there. But all right. Well, thank you again, you guys. I know these are being a little short and sweet lately, but it's with my dad and stuff. It's hard with everything he went through before he passed away and everything I was going through. And it takes me a lot to get up and do these. And you guys really, really make it worth every penny. You really guys motivate me all the time. So thank you so much. All right, you guys. Hope you enjoyed my Cher story because it was just so awesome to see Cher. I'm still like, I would just, to this day. But all right, you guys. For those of you just lurking or just tuning into the channel, go down and hit that subscribe. Hit the bells. I got good bells even for 53. That's a good thing about small boobs. They're always perky. They don't go pendulous. They're perky. But all right. So hit the like, hit the share, hit the subscribe, hit my bells. And we'll see you next time on Cocktails and Rocktails. Oh yeah, cheers, speakers.